What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative, where I talk about all of the things that I read. Today is my weekly reading wrap-up, where I talk about all of the things that I read, what I'm still currently working on, and what I plan to stick my nose into next. First, if you have not seen Monday and Wednesday's videos, Monday, I finally got my April wrap up. Just a quick recap of all of the things that I read in April, what I thought about them. And then Wednesday, I put up my review of The Free Bastards, which is the third book in Jonathan French's Lotlands, and it also sort of serves as an overview for the series. Since it was the last book in the trilogy, I did share my thoughts on if I would recommend that series now that it's completed. So if you haven't seen those, I will have them linked down in the description below if you want to check those out. And then next week going up, I'll have a video of all of the book mail that I've received from publishers, authors, friends, and subscribers. That'll be going up, as well as my review for Nick Roberts' The Exorcist House. That book was so good, I had to hurry up and get a review going for you guys on that one. Also on the list of things that I finished this week is David Wiley's A Merchant in Orea and Other Tales. It's a collection of fantasy short stories. I had a lot of fun with it. There were some portal fantasy, there were some medieval Arthurian fantasy, there was also some cosmic fantasy in there. I had a really good time with this collection. I am also going to be doing a dedicated review where I'm going to rank the stories, share a couple of thoughts about each of the stories in there so you can gauge whether that might be a collection you would enjoy. So that's another one to be keeping an eye out for. I will try to get it up this month, but it might eke over into June. Next, I finished The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is book 2 in the Daevabad trilogy. Wow. It's like the Kingdom of Copper walked up to the first book, The City of Brass, and said, "Hold my beer." This installment took the story and leveled up all of the characters. In the first book, I was not invested in all of the characters. There was one main character, Ali, that I loved. He was my everything. He was the reason why I kept reading the story. I was the most interested in his storyline. I thought I wasn't that interested in Dara or Nari because they seemed to be like in a little romance, and I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in the civil unrest and the political stuff that was going on. That is everything in this book. It was just a huge game of chess. They were all playing with each other, with other people. The city of Daevabad is a literal powder keg between the people who are settled there. I am so excited to see what is going to happen next. And like I said, in this one, S.A. Chakraborty had me invested in all of the characters involved. I am 100% there for each and every one. I did not mind when we switched point of view between the different ones. I absolutely loved it. I cannot wait to finish this trilogy. It is going to happen hopefully next month. I've got to check my schedule and see what all books I've accepted for review. I also have a secret project that I'm involved in that's going to have a couple of books added to the TBR. I have to know how this one's going to end. I just absolutely love this book. I'm in love with the series. I actually enjoy the story more now that I know more from reading this one, if that makes any sense. The character development of Dara and Nari makes better sense, and I like their progress, their maturity in the 5 years between book 1 and book 2. So I am very excited to see where it's going to end. Love it. I'm so glad I read it. Next, in the Stephen King short story read-along hosted by the Bookish drummer, I read The Reaper's Image and loved it. Absolutely loved it. It is a true horror of Stephen King's. It was dread, it was mystery, it was unresolved. We just don't know, but he did it so well. Like, I don't mind that it wasn't a resolved ending. I like that it was left open. He's bad about that though. Sometimes he writes open endings and he just doesn't stick the landing. He really did in this one. I've just enjoyed it. I think Skeleton Crew as a collection has surpassed Night Shift as far as the stories in here that I love, the amount of them that I love, just how they're written I love. I think this one is going to be my favorite collection. Of course, it's only the second one I've read. I'm not sure how many more they are, but we're going to continue to explore those with the Bookish drummer. So if you're interested in joining, I'm going to have all of that information linked down below for you. Just chatting about the short stuff that I read this week, I also got to read another short story from Jacob Stephen Moore. This one, it's not that it's creepy. It's that I read the novel that the two characters in it are from. So I read and reviewed The Unwelcome. I'll have that review linked for you up above in the cards and down below if you want to check it out. And this short story is about two of those characters before the novel, just to kind of look at their life together before that book happened. It was so good. It totally changed my outlook on those characters. I now need to reread the book with that in mind. It was so good. If you look at Goodreads and you see the story The Unwelcome, it's about a body snatcher and he's after this girl that he loves. And so this short story is about them before she knew what kind of thing that he was. And he takes over the body of a painter to paint her as he sees her. And it was just beautifully written, first of all. It was just very poetic. The narrator is the painter, and the way he talks about his art, it felt like exactly how I would imagine someone who was a master of their craft to talk about it. It was so good. Another piece of short stuff I read was episode 14 of a mini tale. That's a cosmic fantasy series that I read online. It's completely free. It's a minitale.com. But episode 14 is also the fourth in the little 5-part mini-series from the spooky line from last year. And it's called Wicked Mitch. Opaline and Threshold have taken prisoner another agglomerate who is cursed like them to blip from world to world through space and time. But they know they can't hold her. And they know as soon as they all blip that it's going to release her from the prison. And then they're going to be forced to fight, because whatever other agglomerate you're near to when you blip, wherever you end up, you're still near each other. You might not be like right next to each other, but you're going to be very close to one another. So they're trying to find some way that they can get some help to fight the agglomerate before they blip. And they end up in the little town where Wicked Mitch is in control. Or is he? Y'all really need to check out this web series. It is so much fun. And then to wrap up my short stuff I've been working on, I am still working on Liminal Spaces, edited by Kevin Lucia. It's an anthology of dark speculative fiction where all of the stories are about liminal spaces. They're really good. The one I read today was probably my least favorite. So I hope to finish this one in the next week or so, and then I'll review the entire collection for you. But I also want to show off my awesome bookmark. I don't know if this thing is going to show up against this background. Let me put it against the old Stephen King here and see if it shows up well. It's kind of glossy, so maybe the camera won't put a glare on it. That's my Scream bookmark that I got. I don't know if you guys follow NW Reader on YouTube or Instagram, but she has a shop on Etsy where she makes these awesome bookmarks. Oh, and I forgot to show you the best part. So on the inside of this one is another one, and it's got the quote on there. I hope you guys can see that. But I also put a little reel thing on Instagram and TikTok showing it up a little up close. So I'll link those down below if you want to check those out. I love this bookmark. It is so cool. Oh, I also have a discount code for her shop, True Born Design on Etsy. You can get 10% off with code NERD10. I'm so proud of my code, y'all. But definitely check her out. And so that's all of the things that I have finished. And then of course I got into what I'm still working on. Let's keep going. What am I still working on? I started The Empire of Silence. I didn't mention I was going to do that last week. I didn't say, hey guys, this is going to be next on my list. It just happened. It was on the TBR, but I was in the mood for it. I didn't really know that I was in the mood for it because it was not what I was expecting at all. This book, Christopher Raggio, wow. I haven't even looked into it far enough to know if it's his debut, how long he's been writing, how much he's written, but this is written beautifully. Even if I didn't like the story, I would still keep going because it is just written beautifully, just gorgeous. It's not overdone. It's not purple prose or anything like that. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. But in addition, I've paired it with the audiobook. I will put the audiobook narrator's name on the screen for you. I think it's Samuel something. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is outstanding. He does a phenomenal job with this narration. So I have to have him reading it with me as I read it physically. So I'll do an immersion read, and then when I'm walking the dogs or cooking or cleaning, I have the audiobook going. It's a very detailed account. So the narrator, Hadrian Marlowe, is telling us this story. He's looking back on his life and he is telling us the events of his life that led to where he is now, I am assuming. So it's very detailed, it's methodical. It's not one you want to fly through, but you do find yourself wanting to pick it up. I think I started this one a couple days ago and I'm already a little over 200 pages in, but I just want to pick it up constantly. Like if I go out and walk the dogs and I come back and I didn't finish the chapter, I immediately sit down and finish the chapter with the physical book. I am tabbing. I've got little tabs in this one. I haven't done that in a long time. And these tabs are quotes that I am in love with, or what I think may be important to what all is going on. My patron Lindsay picked this for me to read and review for this month, and I am so grateful. It was on my list to get to eventually. I just had not yet. And since I'm showing off bookmarks today, I have to show y'all this one. This is my favorite science fiction bookmark. We'll borrow the Splendid City to show this one. That is my TARDIS bookmark that I got for my birthday from my friend Rosalie in my Discord. It is just beautiful. It is my favorite science fiction bookmark. And then my other favorite bookmark is in my main read, and it is The Dark Tower. Look at that. On one side, it's got the Dark Tower with the first line of The Gunslinger, the man in black fled across the desert. And if you flip it over, it's the rose, and it says, and the gunslinger followed. I love that. Let me put that back. And then that brings me to my other current read, The Splendid City by Karen Hewler. This book is coming out in June. I wanted a fun read. So I sat down on, I want to say it's Mother's Day, and I was like, I need something fun to read because for Mother's Day, Chris woke up still not feeling well. He had had a sore throat for a couple of days. He was convinced it was strep throat. I took him to the clinic and it was Miss Rona has claimed him. I haven't caught it yet, so I think I might have been in the clear, you guys. But I wanted something fun to read. And I asked for this arc from Angry Robot Books because there's a line in the blurb about a talking cat who loves craft beers, eating fish tacos, and shooting people. I had to read it, and it turned out to be exactly what I thought it was going to be. Hilarious. There is a mystery. There's also a lens on the society and things that are happening that are being controlled by the government that is interesting and intriguing as well. But y'all, it is all about Stan the cat. I hadn't even made it to page 2 and he has already shot somebody. It is so good. I'm already halfway through it. I can't wait to sit down and read another chunk of it. I've never read Karen Hewler before, but I'm definitely going to be reading some more of her work because I know she has other books out I'm going to have to get into. But I will absolutely be reviewing this one for you guys, and I will have that up before this book goes on sale so you can check it out and see if it's one you might be interested in picking up for yourself. Now, that's everything I read, what I am still reading. Next up will be The Cursed Among Us by John Durjan, and then Pulse by B.A. Bellick, both of which I am very excited to read, so be looking to hear from me next week to see what I'm thinking about those as I get started on them. Guys, that is going to take care of me for this week. I hope you all have had a great week. I hope all of you mamas, whether they're 2-legged or 4-legged babies, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. I can't wait to see you guys again on Monday to show you all the book mail I've gotten recently. Until then, you guys take care, and I'll see you in the next one.